So, another consumer electronics show is over, and we've just about recovered from the constant neon radiation and the non-stop god-awful margaritas that make up the Vegas experience. The likes of Sony, Samsung and HTC were all present, of course, but anyone expecting some swish new smartphones out of them was left more disappointed than an orphan at Christmas. Still, that made CES 2015 a great opportunity for some lesser known brands to push some rather unique smartphone hardware, and there was still some sexy kit on offer. Handsets like the Sega's V2, for instance, which packs some freaky mental features. The 21 megapixel camera with optical image stabilization is backed by a 13 megapixel selfie camera, which is impressive enough. But then there's the dual memory card slots too. Not only do they give you up to 320 gigabytes of total storage space, but you can even load your own operating system onto one for a dual boot setup. Definitely one for the geek that you love. We weren't enormous fans of LG's first curvy phone, the LG G Flex, which was rather large and not really that flexible. So when LG launched a follow-up at CES 2015, we were a little surprised and a little skeptical. However, almost all of that skepticism trickled away when we actually fondled the G Flex 2. The bulky phablet-sized dimensions have been gloriously scaled back, giving a much more comfortable 5.5-inch handset that's as satisfying to clutch as the LG G3. All of the G3's massive features are packed in there, with the sole exception of the Quad HD screen, although the 1080p Full HD display on the G Flex 2 is still sharp, bright and gorgeous to squint at. Next up, the Lamborghini phone. Now, sporty fashion phones usually boast ridiculous design, crap specs and an asking price that would make Jeremy Clarkson say some rather rude things. Well, the Torino Lamborghini 88 Tauri doesn't disappoint when it comes to asking price, costing over $6,000, but it bucks the trend when it comes to the hardware. There's a Full HD 5-inch screen, a speedy 20 megapixel camera and a Snapdragon 801 processor packed inside the rather interesting and typically chunky frame. But if you are tempted, you'll have to be quick as well as loaded, because only 1,947 of the phones have been made. Finally, one of the more intriguing phones at CES was sadly locked away in a glass box. The Asus Zenfone Zoom is a dedicated camera phone bolstering the 13 megapixel snapper with a 3x optical zoom, so you can get close to your subject without pushing the phone into their stupid smiley face. Despite this, it's actually pretty skinny and not a chunky mess like Samsung's K-Zoom phone. However, we did get to play with the Asus's Zenfone 2 phone, which boasts a Full HD 5.5-inch IPS screen that fits the bulk of the phone's front panel. There's a 13 megapixel camera that takes some very impressive HDR shots, LG G3 style rear controls, and a massive 4 GB of RAM to back up the 64-bit Intel Atom processor. Finish it off with a variety of customizable designs and colours, and Zenfone 2 looks to be a serious step up for Asus in the smartphone stakes. Check out rokombu.com/mobile for full hands-on coverage of all of these phones and much more from CES 2015.